You know, all I wanted to do was be a race car driver ever since I was, 6 or 7 years old. That was my dream.
I'm speechless, man. I mean, this is the greatest day of my life.
To have those numbers fall in line with a dream, it doesn't get any better than that.
Man, this has turned into a fairy tale year. I can't believe it.
Jeff Gordon looking for a storybook ending. How will the fairy tale conclude? Jeff Gordon has 81 career poles. This will be his final qualifying session in the Sprint Cup Series. This weekend, everything will be the last. It will be his last final practice tomorrow. And of course, his last race, 797 races consecutive.
It just wasn't fair. Young guy with Kevin Costner good looks, and a right foot the size of the Frankenstein monster. An attitude that percolated with a whole different crowd.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Gordon.
Thank you very much. I am so excited to be here in New York hosting Saturday Night Live.
By the 1990s, NASCAR had doubled attendance, was growing 10% annually, and car owners were consumed with discovering new young guys that could be the key to new markets that appeal to young kids, college kids, old guys dreaming of being kids, teenage girls and grandmas.
Jeff Gordon, victorious.
I'm speechless, man. I mean, this is the greatest day of my life.
It was a trend that had started with Bill Elliott, a wholesome, fine young man. But Gordon was different. And the best news is, it aggravated the old school race fans. It made for a new dimension on like and dislike.
Dale Earnhardt knows now that the championship is over, that Jeff Gordon is in fact going to be the 1995 Winston Cup champion.
The publicists, the promoters, they latched on to a 20th century all-American Star Wars on speedway battlefields, featuring Jeff Gordon as Luke Skywalker against the Man in Black, the Intimidator, Earnhardt, Darth Vader, taunting the Boy Wonder, Peter Pan in a crash helmet. At first, there was some truth in their animosity, but as the war wore on, they become pals. And pals became partners. The two biggest names in the game, with respect earned and shared. Until that fateful Sunday at Daytona, Jeff Gordon won his 4th national championship in 2001. His last title to date.
This win's going to punch his ticket to the championship 4. Gordon wins at Martinsville.
Yeah, baby! Yeah, we're going to Homestead! Yeah! I'll tell you fight!
3 weeks back, the magic was still there.
Yeah! We're going to Homestead!
There was Peter Pan, all grown up, now 43, surrounded by his fairy princess, the mother of their 2 ankle nippers, celebrating by pasting a victory emblem on his car door. One could almost hear a voice in the background, a voice with a smirk. Hey, Wonder Boy, Homestead, huh? Have a good ride.
Well, the day is here for Jeff Gordon, and he said for months now, it'll hit me on the race day of the final race day. You said it would be trigger moments, maybe trigger people like seeing Rick Hendrick, seeing your family. Has the moment hit you yet that this is the last one?
Oh yeah, I got it out of there early, right? Out of the way real early. I woke up, I raised the blinds on the bus, and my mom was walking by, and I called her inside, and we had an awesome moment and spent some good time together this morning. So it's been absolutely an incredible day. People keep saying, I bet you're going to be happy when this day's over. I'm like, no, I want this day to go on forever. It's absolutely been the most incredible experience, thanks to certainly to NASCAR, to the Speedway, to you folks with the media, the fans, this race team, my family and friends. It is absolutely incredible to be in my shoes right now, and I just can't wait for this rain to go on by, and let's get this race going.
I was going to ask you, there have been so many people around you chanting your name, all that, mobs of people following you all weekend. How do you not let it be a distraction? But it also seems like at the same time you're kind of soaking it all up and enjoying it all.
Well, I am enjoying it. How can you not enjoy it? I mean, the way the fans have treated me and supported me, to have fellow competitors that you race with, you compete against, to say some of the things that they've said. I've tried not to read too much, and because it does get me a little choked up. But I mean, I'm just so thrilled. I've been reminiscing this whole year about the start, the beginning, and how it got here. I still can't believe it got here. But I tell you what, it's been one heck of a ride. I've enjoyed it very, very much. A lot of people contributed to make this happen. I've worked very hard at it. And I think more than anything, to me, today is, I've had some people say, are you sad? Are you happy? I mean, most of all, I'm happy, but I think more than that, I'm just really, really proud of everything that's gone on.
There are some significant things that have happened this weekend. Bill Clinton tweeting you saying that he hopes you do well. He's going to be watching the race. But Kevin Harvick, one of your rivals in the championship, took a moment after he was done with our interview to go kneel by your car and take a picture of him by your car. What do those acknowledgments of your career mean to you, Jeff?
Yeah, I think that's the part that's been hitting me, the most and really sinking in is, it's certainly great from your peers and your competitors, to have that kind of support, because I know what goes on out there on the racetrack, and it's, you don't expect that from them, and we're competitors. We want to win. We think about that, so much, but for them to take time, especially the ones that I'm racing for a championship, to go to that extent has meant the world to me, and I can't wait to go out there and compete against him one last time.
Even a four-time champion, a guy who's won 93 races, needs advice once in a while. Who have you sought advice from about how to manage this weekend?
I don't think who better to go to than a six-time champion in Jimmy Johnson. He's been absolutely incredible. Ever since he was knocked out and we won Martinsville, he was just like, man, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? And I've taken it all in. It's so ironic to me, because when he first came in, he was grilling me for things, and I was giving him all that I had. And boy, it's been amazing to be a part of seeing that flip around, and the advice from just things that make me relax and smile and get prepared for this day, as well as with the team, and Alan and all of our teammates at Hendrick have been absolutely incredible. Of course, Rick Hendrick, I mean, who better to tap into and be able to. We've just had some really special moments between my wife Ingrid, my kids, Rick, and my parents. Life can't get better than it is right now, and we've never been more prepared to go do this than we are right now.
Ken Squire brought it up a moment ago in that essay, and I think it's fitting to talk about Dale Earnhardt Sr. and what he meant to your career. Did you relish that rivalry? Were you a little intimidated by the intimidator at first, and then you became good friends?
I don't know if anybody wasn't intimidated by Dale Earnhardt Sr. He had a way about him on and off the track to certainly rub you on the track, but know how to kind of let you forget about it or think that maybe that was my fault off the track. So I appreciated what he did on the track a lot, but I really appreciated what he did off the track, because it wasn't just the bond of friendship or business partnership that he had. He saw this sport in a way where he wanted to see it grow, and he knew by making friendships and partnerships out there that it was going to benefit him and benefit others and benefit the sport. And that between Richard Petty, Darrell Waltrip, and Dale Earnhardt, and Rusty Wallace, and Dale Jarrett, these guys that get it like that, I learned so much on how to approach day in and day out. That didn't mean I had to be like them. I could still be me, but I wanted to do everything I possibly could on the track and off the track to help bring the most to the sport.
There is a championship to win today. I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about that. If the 24 is going to win the championship at the end of the evening, what needs to happen?
That's a little broad question right there. I felt like our car is really, really good. I'm really proud of this team and the effort they put in, not only to getting us here, but this race car. And we've shown some good speed this weekend. This track is abrasive, and the lanes move around from the first lap to the second lap to the 10th and 20th lap. And so I think, it's going to be about managing that, communicating, being an overall team, and we're going to do this thing together, win or lose. And I think that this team has really proved that they've got what it takes to be here in this moment and rise to the occasion. And that's what I'm looking forward to.
As he told me earlier this week, everything about this track, everything about our team favors us this evening. I feel good about our chances to win the 5th title, Krista.
And Marty, I don't know where there's more waterworks, the sky with the weather here or us on this stage listening, and not just what Jeff said, the way Ken Squire presented it. Jeff talking about his family, his mom, the moment with his mom this morning. He said he went to Jimmy Johnson for advice on winning a championship or winning in this situation. So let's go to Dale Jarrett for advice on stepping out of the car, walking away from what is going to be for Jeff a Hall of Fame career.
Yeah, it's tough to talk about because it's a difficult thing to do, and I could never imagine what it's been like for the ride that he's made. I'm glad this rain came because that's what's in my eyes here.
That's what it is.
Certainly, but this day is going to be one that he's doing the right things. He's remembering all of it, and he's going to remember the rest of his life, but it's not all going to sink in for a while. It's the things that he's done to change a sport in the way that he has. I can't imagine the feeling of having that with the magnitude of what all he's done in this sport besides just drive a race car. We knew he could do that when he came, but everything that he's done since then has just been incredible. He's done it all with class throughout every moment of it. That's why all of these drivers and his competitors are saying the things that they are. I'm glad I had the opportunity to race with and against him, learn things from him. We battled, we cussed each other, but then we did it with respect, and we were even business partners with Dale Sr. in a few things, and I'm glad I had those times. But as much as I have to be impartial here, I do wish, and my hopes are that Jeff Gordon can end this night the way that it should for him, and that's as the champion that he is.
Kyle, you raced against him as well, and you have the unique perspective of watching your dad. The King's last race was Jeff Gordon's first.
Yeah, which was amazing. And I'm going to say this to all race fans out there, and Dale has, I'm sure he's gone through some of this stuff. And as we see Jeff Gordon, my dad gave him a hat right here. And he also, and I'll tell this story first, he also gave him this hat, but he also gave him 93 $1 bills for each $1 bill for each race that Jeff Gordon has won. Because in Jeff Gordon's very first race, which was my father's very last race, my father gave each competitor a money clip. And it was a money clip with his logo on it, talked about his final race, had the driver's number on it, different things like that. So he thought about this and felt like it was only fitting that he give him $1 for every race win that he had won. And he come up with that. I got to say, I'm really incredibly proud of my dad for thinking this up. He's got an extra $1 over there in the motor coach that he can give Jeff if Jeff comes out of here as a winner. But I'm going to say this, and I think that's what the sport's all about. Two legends in the sport, two icons in the sport, come together in the back of a truck without a lot of media around. They talk about their careers. They give each other gifts. And that's kind of the cool part of where this sport is and what Jeff Gordon has meant for this sport.
Yeah, that's great.
And did you get to tell? I know you were telling a story.
Yeah, we'll tell that later.
Okay, we have time. We've got a story coming up from Rick was just with us on our set. As soon as he left, look where he went. He went to get his picture taken with Jeff Gordon's car. Kyle, DJ as drivers, that's unheard of.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But, I think it's really cool thing. if I were in this race and as a driver, if I could get there now, I would go get my picture made, but I'm tied to this chair, so I can't. But that's really cool, and just shows the amount of respect that everybody here, KB, has for him.
That is it. It's Aretha Franklin. It's capital R-E-S-P-E-C-T right there. That was not a joke. I mean, he truly wanted his photo taken beside the car that Jeff Gordon would run in this final race.
And Harvick's not the only driver who is showing a legend with a legend. Jeff Gordon hugging Mario Andretti. There's our Ray Evernham, Jeff's former crew chief, talking as well. Special group of friends, family, and admirers surrounding Jeff.
I think there's too many just to say one favorite Jeff Gordon memory, but I do have kind of one that comes to mind. I was probably 6 years old and I was on pit road at Bristol. Probably wasn't supposed to be on pit road at that time, but I was watching Jeff and Ray Evernham practice together and talk, and Ray Evernham called me over the wall and took my camera and took a picture of me and Jeff right by his car, and I thought that was the coolest thing in the world, and I think I talked about it. I'm still talking about it, so that was probably my favorite moment.
Halfway down the back straightaway, half a lap to go. Denny Hamlin drives deep into the corner. Gordon drives deeper. Gordon is there. They almost make contact.
One of my favorite Jeff Gordon memories was probably battling him late in the race at Loudon, New Hampshire in, I think, 2007.
He comes to the line.
When I was growing up, and I don't mean to date Jeff too much, but he was the guy you had to beat on those short tracks, and so you took a lot of pride and you could poke your chest out on beating a guy like him.
I think the one memory that comes to my mind is Jeff being on the pole at the Brickyard when he literally left tire marks off turn 4 coming to the start-finish line. That is something that every race car driver wants to be able to pull off, and for him to do it at a place like Indy, that was pretty awesome.
Here comes Gordon.
He's working on his teammate Kyle Busch right now.
I think it was back in my rookie year, and I remember us racing back and forth for a spot, and I'd go off into the corner, I'd get him loose, and he'd slide up, I'd pass him. The next corner, he'd come back to my rear bumper, he'd get right underneath me, and he'd get me loose and move me out of the way, and he'd go by me. So we raced each other, not like teammates, for a few laps, and after the race, he was a bit mad. It was just fun. It's kind of cool to race against my hero like that and just get a taste of probably some of my own medicine.
My dad took my sister and I and my mom. We went to Hendrick and went and looked at his race car, and there's a picture of us standing next to his car, the 24, and I just, I still have that photo.
I think him winning the 600 and how high his emotions were and everything, I think that's something that me as a race fan, before I was even close to being at this level and I was just starting racing, that's something I'll never forget.
I'm speechless, man. I mean, this is the greatest day of my life. I don't know what to say. I mean, it's a wonderful feeling.
To see him win that first race, it seemed like that was, boom, a legend in the making. It seemed like that was going to be his pattern his whole career, and here he is, close to 100 wins later and 4 championships. He truly is a legend, and it's been a privilege to race with him.
I have a broad spectrum of Gordon memories, competing against and then just being a fan of. So he's left a long line of great memories for everybody in racing.
Drivers, Jeff Gordon's peers, sharing some of their memories. Well, it's not just NASCAR drivers or team members who are Jeff Gordon fans today. Athletes from other sports, other forms of racing are here. Our Rutledge Wood has caught up with one of them.
That's right, Chris. I was keeping my eye out for all kinds of celebrities and drivers, and then I got the combo of both. James Hinchcliffe is here. James, obviously here at a NASCAR track, this is a place you've been before, you're familiar with it, but what are you doing here today?
No, obviously I'm a big fan of racing, and I'm a big fan of Jeff Gordon, and there was just no way I was not going to be at his last race. It was going to be important for me to be here for that, and then also it's GoDaddy's last race, and they were, close with me in the IndyCar series, so I wanted to just come check everything out.
When you say you were a big Jeff Gordon fan, give me some perspective for that, because you grew up in Toronto, right? What was that like?
Well, let's put it this way. I wore a Jeff Gordon hat to school every single day for all of grade 6.
Did anyone else, did they get like, hey, this guy really loves the 24?
No, they got, this kid doesn't have any other hats, has irresponsible parents, might have a learning disability. I don't know. They were a little concerned that I was wearing that hat every day.
Hey, how about from one great open wheeler to another? Mike, who do you have?
I've got perhaps the greatest open-wheel driver ever. There may be some arguments between him and A.J. Foyt. I'm not really sure, but this would be Mario Andretti. And Mario, great to have you here. Thank you for your time. I want to get your perspective. Obviously, you know a great race car driver when you see one. What stood out for you watching Jeff Gordon over the years?
Well, I think right from the beginning, he showed to be the complete package, if you will. Just a great race driver, you know, the fabulous, obviously, just able to do whatever he wanted to do, you know, and a persona, you know, that it made him an ambassador immediately, and someone that made a difference, and he's one of the icons that made a difference in the sport, no question about it.
I would imagine you can relate with what he's going through right now as you remember back on your career as you said goodbye. What do you think this weekend's like for Jeff?
Deep down, I think he's having a ball. I really do. A lot of pressure, but the guys of that caliber know how to deal with pressure, and actually you love this situation. And the fact that he's running so strong also, he knows what he's doing, and he's not going to leave anything on the table, I can guarantee you. I mean, he showed qualifying that he's really primed for it. And I think, again, in the race, I think what you will see that the competitors are not going to give him anything, but they don't want to be that guy. You know what I mean? So I think he has some of that going for him, and he knows it, and he'll take advantage of it. And I think we're going to be here celebrating in a few hours.
All right, so Jeff Gordon's your pick?
Oh, yes, he's my pick. Absolutely.
Yeah, you can't go against that, Marty. I mean, that's pretty stout. Mario Andretti picking Jeff Gordon to win the championship today.
I have tracked down our colleague, Ray Evernham, proudly wearing a championship ring from one of the many championships he won with Jeff Gordon. You know, I want to know for you today, what is the day like? Has it been emotional? How much time have you had with Jeff this weekend?
We text back and forth, and I saw him at an event last night and briefly today with Mario. But it's been an emotional, I want to say, roller coaster. You know, I try not to be an emotional guy, but I try not to think about it too much. I really want to think about the job he's got to do today and how good his car is and how happy he is. But I've got to tell you, I met that kid 25 years ago, and it seems like it went by so fast. So probably be a little bit emotional later.
What was your first impression when you met Jeff Gordon?
Oh, God, I don't know if you ever heard that story, but
I've heard it. You tell it.
The first time I met him, he was 18 years old, and we met at a hotel in Charlotte to talk about testing Charlotte the next day. And of course, he had that little mullet and a little mustache and carried a briefcase, and he was just, again, he looked like he was about 14 years old, and I thought to myself, my God, what have I got into? And he answered that pretty quickly when we went to Charlotte the next day, and I think he was second quick to everybody that was there.
Did you have any idea what you were building or what this could become when you guys first started that first team?
You know, we always wanted to be great. We wanted to be champions, and I knew that he had a lot of talent, and it was just getting in the right place at the right time and have all those things happen. And I know that a lot of people say, well, Ray and Jeff, but, you know, Jeff and I both owe an awful lot to Rick Hendrick because that was the third, you know, leg of that stool that made everything work, and he stood behind us and gave us the opportunity to do that, the things that we did. And I don't think, even looking back now, we realize what a time that was.
That first year, 17 race cars he tore up. How many sleepless nights did you have fixing Jeff Gordon cars?
It was a lot, but I'll tell you, we kept thinking, man, this kid's fast, but when he finds that, you know, when he finds where that edge is, it's going to be really good. And I think we put Mr. Hendrick in the poorhouse that year, but yeah, it was, I think it was really only about 14 cars. The rest were all just front. We were fixed the rest of them.
Yeah, I know that you were not a part of the 2001 championship. For him personally, to win it with somebody else, were you proud of him in that moment? Because it wasn't then Ray and Jeff, and he's talked about that a little bit this week.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Jeff and I have always been close, and I knew at that time that our time was ending. I wanted to go in a different direction. He needed to be a little bit different direction. He didn't need me on the radio telling him how to drive anymore. It was Jeff Gordon, and he needed to prove that he could do that on his own. And now being this close to doing it after a career this long with so many different cars and so many different racetracks and so many changes, you know, he could walk out of here today creating one of the biggest sports stories that we've seen this decade.
Kelly, a lot of people, including Ray Evernham, pulling for Jeff Gordon today.
That first time I got introduced to a quarter midget, I was a little intimidated, but I got behind the wheel and it was just natural, and I felt immediately that I was connected to that race car.
Jeff Gordon has won for the third time this year.
Looking at 3 years, from the time I even thought about a stock car to the time I was driving a cup car. And then 2 years later, winning my first championship, You win a race, all of a sudden you get a little more attention, you get a few more phone calls and sponsor opportunities. And was I as accepted by the fans or the competitors as I would have liked? No, not at first, but it came eventually.
Boy, what can you say? 4 championships in 9 seasons of Winston Cup racing.
I love Jimmy like a brother. I didn't mind him having 6 championships. I just would like to have had 1 or 2 along the way myself. But has it been tough at times because you're managing a friendship and teammates and all those things? Yes, but there's nothing that's going to break that friendship and bond that we have. You know, I've been doing this for a long time, and I've had some amazing moments. I love it so much. I've enjoyed it. It's been so good, and I'm so passionate about that. It's never gotten old over all the years.
This win's going to punch his ticket to the championship 4. Gordon wins at Martinsville.
Yeah, baby! Yeah, we're going to Homestead!
To see the joy in Ingrid and those kids, and them see it in me from a championship level, nothing could top that.
Such a great season for that team.
From Chesterfield, Virginia, a 2-time Homestead Miami Speedway winner, Denny Hamlin. Here to present the award for $6,000 is Amanda, Miss Ford Life.
There you see Jeff Gordon with his children, 8-year-old Ella, 5-year-old Leo. You can only imagine they're probably going to be a part of this final driver introduction for their dad, Jeff Gordon. The championship 4 about to be introduced.
I think Jeff Gordon was explaining who Lewis Hamilton was right there.
Yes,
Leo
and
didn't want anything to do with it.
the honors, Bruce Buffer, the UFC's veteran voice of the Octagon. He will be talking, introducing those 4 championship drivers, Jeff Gordon, Kevin Harvick, Martin Truex Jr., and Kyle Busch. Ingrid saying hello to Lewis Hamilton. Again, Formula One's Lewis Hamilton, one of the celebrities, one of the fans of Jeff Gordon here today to really just witness history.
Yeah, that's so cool. Lewis Hamilton took the time, had a great year. Now the championship, to take the time and be here for Jeff Gordon's last race. I mean, it's just really, really special. I mean, these times only come along never so often.
And this, what other sport do you see? There's Kyle Busch talking to Ingrid. You know, they're just standing there chatting right before these 2 guys, her husband and Kyle Busch, get ready to go out and contend for this championship. That's the way the bus slot is. That's the way the garage area is. That's the way the NASCAR group is. It's just a huge family that you pull for each other. You pull for the ones you love and the ones that you care about.
This 4-time NASCAR Sprint Cup Series champion will start in his last NASCAR Sprint Cup Series race here today. Driving the number 24 X-Alta Chevrolet from Vallejo, California, presenting Jeff Gordon.
In storybook endings and fairy tales, and good things happen to good people, and there could not be a better ending this afternoon for one of these 4, but certainly for Jeff Gordon to end his career as the real champion that he is.
I wish everybody could be here right now. You feel the respect, you feel the excitement. We're up here in the booth, but the stands, there's not anyone sitting down. There's not anyone not applauding. This is those 4 guys. It's their day, but this is Jeff Gordon's moment right here.
There you see. Yep, I just jumped up. Not a butt in the seat. They're all standing, a standing ovation for one of the sports icons. And he is one of 4 who is competing for the Sprint Cup trophy you see there on the stage. Jeff Gordon's last ride, he will go to meet his team at that car. They are waiting for him and strap in for 267 laps. His final Sprint Cup race. Will it end with a championship? Our coverage continues next. let's paint the scene for you. There you see Jeff Gordon, his daughter Ella, the final walk to his car. This is Jeff Gordon's last ride. He is retiring after this race. And the stands, anyone down on pit road, driver introductions just completing, is making that walk with him. There is a sea of people that is following Jeff Gordon to his car for the final time.
Yeah, this, to me, I'm sorry. This gets a little personal for me because this is a sad moment. I see my dad walking with my sisters right here and my mom the last time at Atlanta. I know how emotional my sisters were. I know how emotional my dad was when he got to the car. From a guy that never shows any emotion. Jeff has shown emotion his entire career. That's why people love Jeff.
You see it on Rick Hendrick's face. Jason Engel, one of the team members.
You can tell it right there, just how much this means. And I can tell you as a driver walking to that, it's a moment that you want to savor, you want to take in, but you also have that lump in your throat that, hey, this is the last time. I'm not going to do this again. And you're trying to make sure that you take everything in, talk to everybody, but it's really difficult to do.
Yeah, and I got to be honest, when we went to break and we showed the car as we go to break, and all those guys, that put a lump in my throat. I mean, this is their guy, man. I mean, I don't know how to say it, but this is their guy, the guy they put that car together for, the guy they make the calls for, the guy they work. And Jeff depends on them. You don't barrel off in a corner at 190, 200 miles an hour without trusting every one of those guys that touch that car and what they do. The bond that a driver has with their crew and their crew chief is amazing, and this will be the last time he crawls through that window.
And the car is not normally where it would be gridded. Jeff Gordon qualified 5th. They put all 4 championship cars towards the back. You see him there hugging Brian Vickers, a former teammate, now with us at NBC. They put them all back towards turn 4 so that they're a little bit out of the way for just this reason, so that when Jeff is able to walk to the car, it's in a secluded, separate area.
You know, something that's gotten to me a little bit this weekend, and I've debated whether to even say it or not, but, you know, we had the chance in 1992 to send your dad off in the right way, KP. Yeah. Did it the right way, and Jeff announced this, and we're getting to this point. And I speak of 3 eras, the King's era, Jeff Gordon's era, and the other one was the thing that makes this so tough is we didn't all have the opportunity we wanted to with Dale Earnhardt Sr. to send him off, because that's the threesome that he is in, and here we're able to do this, and Jeff going out on his terms in the right way, and just appreciate the opportunity to be here and talk about it and see it all. But it's getting ready to be a tough moment for him, even though he understands he's getting ready to go battle for a championship.
And again, that scene on pit road. Just amazing, because everyone in attendance knows the magnitude of what is happening for Jeff Gordon, but really for all 4 of these championship drivers. Let's go down to our pit reporters for more.
We've talked all afternoon long about the final start for Jeff Gordon. The family is now here ready for this final picture. She, his wife Ingrid, his stepdad John Bickford is here. Rick Hendrick is here as well. I talked to Rick Hendrick just a moment ago. He said, I got 15 minutes with Jeff Gordon this morning. He said, I just wanted to tell him that I love him. That means so much more to me than just a race, just numbers, just championships and wins. He is like a son to me. He said, I've spent 1/3 of my life with Jeff Gordon. And Jeff told me, well, I've spent half of my life with you. And the good news is, I'm not leaving. This may be the last race, but our friendship will go on forever. And guess what? I still have a lifetime contract, boss. I'm going to be around for a long time.
As you see Jeff walk to the car, I really don't know if there's much we need to say about this. I think just watching the pictures, the images, the number of people trying to get to Jeff Gordon. And I think it's going to be really special. And again, there's no words when he walks up and sees Ella and Leo and Ingrid standing by the car.
It is special. And you know, there are 4 people in this championship race, and we just touched on them. Kevin Harvick, Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch. But this is Jeff Gordon. This is Jeff Gordon's day. This is the end of an era in our sport. An end, and we're not going to see this guy on a racetrack again. An icon of the sport steps away from the sport today. You know, and if you look at other sports, or you look at Richard Petty, or you look at an Arnold Palmer or a Michael Jordan, when they stepped away from the sport, for us, this is huge. This is an incredible day to watch this. You see, that's the sea of people around his car, and back at that end, the team anxiously awaits for him. There's Ingrid, there's Rick, and here he comes through the crowd. And I mean, this is his moment. This is something. You see him hug Linda right there. I mean, this is about their time. This is an amazing moment for me. be drying a track. That's why they all got their fingers in
Yeah,
there.
And you know, you think about, and it just happened recently, but you think about spending your entire career with one organization, with one team. I think about Derek Jeter, the respect that he had in Major League Baseball and surrounding. We talk about, you know, the entertainment world and everybody that has that respect for Jeff Gordon, a lot like Derek Jeter. And that's the way that Jeff Gordon is going out here, the way that it should be done as the champion.
Well, we know our Marty Snyder is standing right there. Marty.
And those were jet dryers. You can still hear them in the background. They were waiting for a moment for those jet dryers to clear. It's an amazing scene down here, Krista. Mario Andretti and all the world championships he's won. Lewis Hamilton is down here. And John Bickford, the man who really started it all, the man who pushed Jeff Gordon at a young age as his stepfather, put him in a race car. His mom, Carol, is down here as well. They shared a moment this morning, the first person he really spent some time with when he was in his motorhome. And here's the picture of the moment, capturing the final moment of Jeff Gordon's career. There'll be a hug for Rick Hendrick here in a moment. This is an emotional day for everyone, especially Jeff Gordon and Rick Hendrick.
His mom.
Jeff requesting a photo of Mario Andretti.
Or Mario requesting a photo with Jeff Gordon.
There you go.
Keep him in there.
Jeff Gordon between two world champions.
That's a lot of driving talent right there.
Impressive.
Go. Gotta go. Oh, yeah. Start pushing, man. Start sending. Go ahead. No, send him. Send him. Go after the back.
I don't know if you see, that's Ryan Blaney,
Yes.
who needs to get to his car to run this race, but he wanted to sneak down there to talk to Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, the young drivers have so much respect because you see Ryan Blaney standing there. That was Jeff Gordon in 1992, standing there talking to the older drivers.
I'm sorry, need to go.
So many photographers down there, and the posed photos I know are special, but I think it's going to be those candid moments when some of those photographers catch up with Jeff in the coming weeks, months, and say, hey, look what I found, look what I have. You know, a moment where he maybe kisses Ella's forehead or reaches over to talk to his mom, Carol Bickford. I think that's going to be what's really special. Showing Lewis Hamilton what Daddy's car looks like.
I think she is, but this is so cool to me. You've got Jeff Gordon, final race, and he's explaining the interior of what a cup car is to a Formula One champion.
And that 24 crew member that you see on the left side of your screen, that's Jordan Allen, who is Jeff Gordon's interior specialist, the one who was in charge of Jeff Gordon's comfort in the car.
Yeah, Mario's saying that looks a lot different than when he drove these stock cars on the inside of them. They have changed dramatically. But he was a very good stock car driver too, Andretti. He, a lot like Tony Stewart and A.J. Foyt, won in pretty much everything they got in.
Any other race, NASCAR track officials would be hurrying this along, saying, come on, we have a race. This isn't just a race. This is history.
Give him time to start getting focused here in a minute, because we're not that far away from the start of this race. I realize it's going to take a little while to get all of those people away from there, and he'll have some time. But, you know, you really like as a driver to have a few moments before you have to go climbing in the car and then start focusing on that.
Yeah, and you seen the hug there, and he's getting his earplugs. He's trying to get his stuff ready. There's so many people that just want a piece of Jeff Gordon in this final moment before he climbs in.
And just think, the scene would be like this even if he wasn't racing for a title. If he wasn't one of the final four, this would all be going on. But you make a great point, and we mentioned his crew members trying to do their job to say, hey, this is our driver. We need to take care of him.
That was John Bickford. There's Ray Evernham that comes up. Think about how many times John Bickford, his stepfather, has hugged him before he got in a race car through his entire career. And here's two guys that totally changed the direction of the sport, Ray Evernham and Jeff Gordon, and how the sport is played now.
It was a special moment indeed. I knew Ray said it would be emotional.
Yeah, it has to be.
Has to Jeff before he got into that car.
Yeah, imagine with them, it is for us sitting here, you know, and to be there and be a part. All he wanted to do was come down and drive stock cars.
He's taking a moment. He's taking a moment.
Yeah. Just, this is what you want.
How cool is it that he walks around and talks to all his guys? Max Pappas standing there, just walked up.
Yeah, you talked about it a while ago, Kyle. This, you know, thanking those guys. They're the ones that he trusts with his being every time that he gets in those cars, that they're prepared properly, that they've done everything that they need to do. And there's nobody, you know, Jeff Gordon has gone from the first race that he got in. He has never missed a race. Just incredible, everything that he's been through. And to be there competing at such a high level in his last race now, at this point in time, with a chance to win the championship.
This will be race number 797 for Jeff Gordon.
It's, you know, and I know this is crazy. This is a group of guys that really, those guys in the garage area, they're tough. They never show emotion. To shake a hand, to pat on the back, to give that little bit of a bump, that's huge emotion from these guys on this team. Drying his shoes right now, probably, where he's walked in the water before he gets in this thing. But this is, there's got to be so many things going through his head right here.
Well, he told our Marty Snyder when he talked to him earlier, he said, I want this to go on, this day to go on forever. He really is enjoying it, soaking in the moments, the atmosphere. It's special, and he knows it.
Yeah, I've said this a couple of times. I really believe that it's a real blessing to him to have this opportunity to race for a championship, that it's been able to take the focus away. If he were just here running this race, yeah, he would want to do well, but there would have been a lot, even as much as we've seen there, his mind would have been really somewhere else other than competing. Now he has to be there. He knows that this is an opportunity to close out this storied career in the most special of ways.
So you feel like the fact that he is running for the championship is actually helping the focus rather than taking away from it?
I really believe that, you know, because he had so many people, family, friends that were coming down here anyway. It was going to be a big distraction to him, and I'm sure that he still had a lot to do, but all of that family and friends have understood. Even the people that are there now, they understand he is here with an opportunity to win a championship, so I think that it's giving him that chance. Alan Gutson, I think he's the one with the most pressure on of anybody here.
And he just walked over and got Alan and said, let's take a picture. I mean, Alan was standing over out of the way. He's bringing in Alan's family to have a photo taken with him, because this is a big moment.
And there was an image of Alan. When Jeff won in Martinsville to make it to this point, there was that image of Alan with the fist pump on the pit box that tells so much. The pressure that a crew chief for Jeff Gordon has to be under to try to get his driver to this, what you're seeing right here.
And I agree with what Dale said. You know, being in the chase, it takes some of this pressure off of doing it. Jeff's not the kind of guy that would want all the focus on him if he wasn't in the chase, if he wasn't in contention. It's like, hey, guys, I'm just part of the race. These guys are racing for a championship.
After all of the distractions, the festivities this morning, it all comes down to 267 laps. Rick, Jeff, and Steve join us next.
Us in Paradise and the tragedy there. Be with them and their family.
Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome star of NBC's
Spangled Banner, yet wave.
Kelly, now the business for Jeff Gordon, win a championship. The message in the team meeting this morning was very simple. It's all about heart today. And as Jeff Gordon told the team, we've raced with more heart than any team in the garage area this year. That's why we'll win a championship. Mike.
Marty, Kyle Busch has just buckled.
There's so much significance for me being my final race, the ability to race for a championship.
The drive for 5 is still alive.
If we could win this thing and win this championship, wow, what a moment that lasts a lifetime.
Only 400 miles remain in Jeff Gordon's career. Up front, Denny Hamlin. He's already said one of the bigger things in his career is starting on the pole in Jeff Gordon's last race.
In row 3, it's Jeff Gordon looking for his 5th championship and his final start of his 23-year career, starting next to Ryan Blaney.
Rick, the car is starting to roll. Jeff Gordon finally in his calm office inside that 24 car for the final time. And he told me earlier today, I kept my morning as normal as I could. He said, I didn't want to have a lot of distractions. He has over 300 people here at the racetrack, over 150 of them with hot passes to be in the garage area. But he said, this morning, I wanted things to be normal. Had a conversation with his mom, a conversation with Rick Hendrick. He got his normal massage, which he gets before every race, just to keep things focused on racing. He knew, though, there would be a chaotic scene by the race car. We saw all that, everybody wanting a piece of Jeff Gordon's final race. But then there was that moment where everybody left. He took a final few pictures and he was by himself. Now, Jeff Burton, you know what that's like as a driver. When you're in that car, that's your office. The attention immediately turns to racing.
It's so important to get focused on racing, but it's so difficult. When you walk down pit road knowing this is your last race you're ever going to run, you just don't know the emotions. He's going through it right now, but you know, he has a chance to win a championship today. On top of that, his last race, the emotions have to be high inside that race car.
And this reminds me of Dale Earnhardt when he was able to win the Daytona 500, something that had eluded him for 20 years, when all the crew members came out and just paid respect to Dale Earnhardt. They're doing the exact same thing to Jeff Gordon as he gets ready to go on to the track for his final race. And how do you focus? He has a championship that sits in front of him. They'll have to race for that title. As you see the cards, what a beautiful paying of respect to Jeff Gordon. Thank you, Jeff. 20 forever. A sellout crowd at Homestead, Miami. 60,000 strong. Jeff Gordon and the Exalta onboard camera, starting in row 3. Gordon wins at Martinsville. This win's gonna punch his ticket to the championship 4.
Yeah! We're going to Homestead! On behalf of millions of fans around the world, John Elway, thank you.
Raymond Mark, a dream has come true.
American Pharaoh, a horse of a lifetime. Jeff Gordon looking for a storybook ending, his 5th championship. Can he do it? That's the big question. Can Jeff Gordon end his career hoisting his 5th Sprint Cup Series championship trophy at Races End? At the beginning of the weekend, a lot would have said he's probably not the favorite going into this. But after what we saw in qualifying, battling back, and the drive and determination that he has, I would say that Jeff Gordon has as good a shot as any of the 4.
Yeah, I think we all came into this weekend thinking Jeff Gordon and his team just haven't exhibited the speed on this type of racetrack to compete with Kevin Harvick, with Truex, with Kyle Busch. Then qualifying started. He was 30th fastest. We're like, there you go. He can't go fast enough. Next time out, he moved up, got himself into the 2nd round. He did it again, got himself in the last round, ended up qualifying 5th, second best of all the guys. So they stepped it up in qualifying trim, and they're going to have to step it up tonight as well.
Well, the playoffs aren't like the regular season. In the championship game, the championship race is bigger than any of that, and that's what we have here today. We have a 4-time champion, 93 race wins, 797 starts, with the opportunity to win a championship in his final race. Statistics, I don't think, have any place in this discussion. It really comes down to which one of these 4 take the opportunity. Jeff Gordon has done it 4 times in his career. I don't see why today couldn't be his 5th.
The drivers were shown 2 to go before the green flag comes out. Let's go trackside once again to Marty.
Rick, we've talked about the stars who have come out to witness Jeff Gordon's final race. Check out who is on top of his pit box today. Some racing royalty in the form of Lewis Hamilton and Mario Andretti. In fact, these guys have so much horsepower, literally, that they moved Mr. Hendrick off the box. He volunteered his seat so that Mario Andretti could have a seat to watch the start of Jeff Gordon's final race. A lot of people want to witness this moment in history. Dave?
Marty, we've talked a lot about the fight.
All of that rain, the rubber's washed off the racetrack, and that'll allow these teams
20 degrees. So as the beginning of a run starts, those fresh tires, we'll see them running right down
to the middle, trying to get to the front to lead the race. And then Truex and Harvick, they might be 4 wide in turns 1 and 2, trying to get themselves to the front. So you have to be aggressive, but on the same time,
and the pep talk for the 24 team, we listened in. You can too.
All right, guys, really appreciate all the effort on this car, man. It's got a nice piece. Let's go to work today. We know what we got to do. Focus in. Let's do our job together as a team right now. Let's do it. Poor buddy, thanks for everything. Thanks, all you guys. Let's do this.
Business as usual for the 24 team, even though it's not usual. It's very unusual, because this is the final start for Jeff Gordon. The lights are off on the pace car. The pace car will make the left turn onto pit road. Now the field in the hands of Denny Hamlin and Joey Logano. They make up row number 1. Denny Hamlin won the pole in the final race of 2015, and Jeff Gordon's final race. The green flag is in the air. Joey Logano with a great start, jumps out in front of Denny Hamlin. Gordon to the bottom of the track, trying to get by Ryan Newman. Gordon passes Newman for 4th. Joey Logano.
Martin Truex Jr. raised that track bar, but by the end of that run, he said he was in a 4-wheel slide. It was right sides only for the 78.
Jeff Gordon said his car was tight entry, tight middle, a little loose on the exit. He did hit some debris off turn 4, but nothing to be concerned with. The wedge adjustment, Mike.
And Kyle Busch a little bit tight, looking for a little drive off, a 4-tire change and an air pressure adjustment.
And before the competition caution, which will come at lap 25, they're not allowed to add fuel to the car, so it will just be championship 4.
Well, I like the strategy for the championship 4. They all pitted, they all took tires. Martin Truex Jr. very aggressive with the pit call, took right side tires. I like where Cole Pern's mind is already. He's going to be aggressive, point the issue. But the big issue, Jeff, is some cars stayed on the track in front of them. They're going to be much slower on these older tires, so this restart has the opportunity to be very...
Both get by.
We see Jeff Gordon looking underneath Martin Truex. Martin Truex only did 2 tires. They're okay. If they lose 3 or 4 spots, they're okay with that because they're still going to pit at the competition caution further ahead than they would have if they would have done 4. So that was the gamble that Cole Pearn in the 78 took.
Jeff Gordon able to get by Martin Truex Jr. And Gordon trying to get by the 22 of Joey Logano. Let's look back on that restart, focusing in on Jeff Gordon.
This has been a weak point for Jeff Gordon and this team all year long. He's got to find a way to get better restarts. Look at the gap he's leaving in front of the car, between he and the car that's in front of him. He's going to have to be more aggressive as this race moves forward. He got a break because all these guys had 2 tires or no tires. He had 4, so it didn't hurt him. But later in the race, he is going to have to be more aggressive.
Yeah, this isn't a points battle where you're protecting a points lead. These 4 competitors are tied, Rick. Whoever outruns the other 3 is the champion. You cannot be conservative. As much as you want to protect your car, you can't be conservative. But it's no surprise to me. We see a contender, Kyle Busch, leading. We see right here Jeff Gordon in 3rd, Kevin Harvick in 4th, Martin Truex in 5th.
All 4 championship 4 running in the top 5.
Now there is a balance. There's always a balance. How aggressive do I need to be at a certain point in the race? Jeff Gordon's smart. We have 245 laps to go. He knows he's got to be in one piece if he's going to have a chance to win this championship. It's okay to be a little safe right now, but as it moves forward, as we get closer to the end, you no longer can do it. You've got to attack.
Cautiously aggressive. Jeff Gordon, maybe not as aggressive as he needs to be later in this race as they continue to fight on the outside. Jeff Gordon trying to get back by the 4. Kevin Harvick on the bottom of the track, trying to make the pass on the 24.
Hard to make this pass. The bottom, we talked about it before the race. The bottom of the racetrack has so much less banking than the top of the racetrack. Jeff Gordon's working the top where there's more banking. Kevin Harvick's in the middle of the racetrack or toward the bottom. There's much less banking, much less grip for Kevin Harvick. So if he...
Jeff Gordon's car a little bit too tight in the middle, a little too loose off day. This also a brand new car for Jeff Gordon. It was planned to race at Texas, but when they won at Martinsville, it allowed them to shift their car rotation because they could save this new car for this championship race. Jeff Gordon told me earlier this week, I honestly feel like it's given us a better shot to win the championship, Kelly.
78 Timo.
Pit stall selection and how important it is. Well, when I saw the 24 car, I was a little surprised. While he chose pit stall 6 because it's on a timing line, what Alan Gustafson chose not to do was take an opening in or out. That puts him between 2 cars that are on the racetrack. The 34 cars behind him, the 95 cars in front. Now, Alan's strategy is those 2 cars perhaps will be a lap down later in the race, but these early pit stops, these cars are going to be on the lead lap, and where they're running back in the pack, you see here, Jeff Gordon, this is the first pit stop of the day. They drop the left side, he goes to leave, and you see the 95. Poor Michael McDowell, he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know if he should stop, if he should go. He wants to let the 24 go, but then the 24 doesn't leave, so then he has to go, but they're losing time the whole time, Marty.
And Steve, Alan Gustafson went to the next pit box to talk to Michael McDowell's team. They've had a conversation on this set of pit stops. Michael McDowell's team will stay out to give Jeff Gordon a clear exit.
That's great work by Alan Gustafson. It's more than just race cars and teamwork. You have to look at any way you can find an advantage for your race team. If you can talk to 95 into staying out, that's an advantage for the 24.
Well, let's go to Dave.
Kevin Harvick's veteran pit crew ready now. They will give him Sunoco fuel and 4 tires. He loves the entry. He's all the way up to 3rd place, but wants help still on the exit. It's still loose off. Kelly?
Martin Truex Jr. still looking for a little bit more turn in his car. He also feels like he's on the splitter a little bit. They're going to make a chassis adjustment to help him out, and it'll be 4 tires for the 78, Marty.
Jeff Gordon said his car is a little bit too tight in the center and just won't rotate on throttle. He said, I need a little bit more. The last adjustment you gave me, 4 Goodyear tires and fresh Sunoco fuel, Mike.
Race leader Kyle Busch saying the car started off a little bit snug, but then freed up as the laps wore on. A 4-tire change at Sunoco race fuel for Kyle Busch.
And that time a clear exit for the 24 as well as the 18. Kyle Busch, Carl Edwards, Jeff Gordon, the first 3 off pit road.
You think they're latched, not completely latched, and they can pop apart, and the hose comes off. The good news for the 18, though, the team end of the 11, it wasn't a parts failure. If it would have been a parts failure, I'm sure Kyle Busch's team would have a lot more concern.
Championship 4 still in the top 6. Kyle Busch, Carl Edwards making up row number 1. Kyle Busch has chose the outside line. Race leader has the option of either starting on the outside or inside. Busch on the outside, Edwards on the inside. Green flag back in the air.
Jeff, we talked about more aggressive restarts with a 24. Jeff Gordon got one there.
A great restart for Jeff Gordon. To the bottom of the track and to the front of the field. Amazing. You can hear the near 60,000 people over the roar of 43 engines, but you could hear it there when Jeff Gordon took the lead. Marty.
And Rick, what an incredible scene. Eddie DeHaan, his spotter, said the 18 spun his tires, go, go, go. And the whole team collectively gave a fist bump, and you can hear the crowd cheering Jeff Gordon in the lead at Homestead.
Here comes that 18 of Kyle Busch, though, looking at the bottom of the track. Jeff Gordon's teammate. 48 of Jimmy Johnson lurking back there in third. The phrase "run where they are not" is what these drivers are going to try to do. If Jeff Gordon goes high, the person following him is going to go low. If Jeff Gordon goes low, who's ever chasing him is going to go high. A little bit slower for the 18 as the 48 has a lot of momentum. And now
18 struggling right now. We saw him in the middle of 3 and 4. He lost all the momentum. He got up in the middle of the corner. It looked like he got
Gordon and Harvick 1 and 2. Jimmy Johnson, Kyle Busch, Carl Edwards, the top 5.
The 18 car went from leading this.
The yellow numbers on all of Jeff Gordon's teammates in honor of Jeff Gordon's last race.
Flag laps we saw earlier, just after a few more than this, 10 or 12 green flag laps, the teams that stayed on the racetrack went right back to the middle or the back of the field. What are these teams going to do? They have a set number of tires. Do they want to burn a set of tires after only 5 green flag laps? The leaders may or may not come, but somebody back in the pack will bring the rest of the field to pit road.
And you may have noticed that it looked as though the right rear tire was up as he was driving on to pit road for the 5 of Casey Kane. They have inner liners on tracks over a mile. Because of the speeds that these cars carry, they will have inner liners, which is another tire that's inside of the tire. And so when the tire blew for Casey Kane, he was able to save it, make it to pit road. Getting ready for the restarts. Jeff Gordon, Kevin Harvick 1 and 2. How about the last restart for Jeff Gordon?
Yeah, well, we talked about Jeff Gordon need to be much more aggressive as the race led on. Well, the next restart, Jeff Gordon times this perfectly. See the 18 on the outside, spins his rear tires right there. That enables the inside line to get momentum. He gets on the inside of the 19 car, makes an aggressive move, 3 wide into 1, ends up getting the lead. That's what we need to see from Jeff Gordon. He stepped it up in 1 caution. It's hard to step it up much more than that.
It's hard to find a fault with Jeff Gordon, but a lot of people go, well, he might not be so good at restarts. Well, right there he showed he can do it.
Well, and the last several years, self-admittedly by Jeff Gordon, restarts have been an Achilles heel. That's been their problem. And it's so important to have restarts. If you give up spots on these restarts, they're very difficult to get back. And it's an opportunity. Everybody's in one spot. If you can pick up spots, this is the best time on restart.
And what I was even more impressed about was that he held the lead. The 24 car in practice didn't look like it had speed on new tires. It proved right there that if they got that track position on new tires, he could fend off the 4 and the 48 and the 18.
And remember, on this restart, Jeff Gordon's the leader. The minute he gets into the restart zone, he has the option of when he wants to leave. As long as he leaves before the end of the restart zone, he's legal.
And he chose the inside line. It's the first time the race leader has done that. Back into the gas, and he's got his teammate behind him.
Pushing him.
Jeff Gordon pushed into turn 1.
Nice job, guys. Good fight there to get back to it, man. Hey, we missed a little bit.
Yeah, man, good job. Wish I had a little bit more, but it's a good fight, man. Proud of the effort. A lot of work went into this, guys. Did an awesome job. It's good job, Chad, man. Wanted to get that for you, buddy. Sorry, I came a little short.
And you guys got some coming. I guarantee you that. What a blast, man. I appreciate it. God, that was awesome. Great day. I couldn't ask for a better team to go out my final race. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, buddy. We appreciate you, man. You're the best. Thanks for a lot, fun over a couple of years here, Jeff. Thank you.
Great.
great career, and thanks for everything.
Oh my gosh, boss, I can't thank you enough, buddy. It's been a dream come true thanks to you. I appreciate it. Appreciate it, and love you.
Love you too, man.
Done that. Jeff Gordon in his last race climbing out of his car. A racing career that started at the age of 5. Jeff Gordon has lived his dream, and he took us along for that ride. Dave?
And as we come down here, Rick Hendrick has found Jeff.
Jeff Gordon.
And Rick Hendrick has stepped away for the moment. Jeff now getting congratulations from his team. Jeff, I heard you call it a dream come true, thanks to Mr. H, before you got out of the car.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, who would have ever thought coming from Indiana as a sprint car driver that could come south to North Carolina and race for people like Bill Davis and then get the opportunity to work with the greatest owner in the Cup Series that there's ever been, and that's Rick Hendrick, and he's way more than a car owner to me, so I'm so appreciative. It's been the most amazing experience. Gosh, I'm a little disappointed, I'll be honest. I thought going into today's race we had something for him, and I think when the sun went down we were missing a little something and just didn't quite have it when the track cooled down, and had to work on it. But I love the effort, and we showed what we're made of right there at the end by climbing our way back up to 6. So I'm proud of that. I'm proud of everything. That's the biggest thing. And these little ones make it all worthwhile. It's a happy, good day. I want that win, but we're still going to celebrate.
Jeff, with the kids here, and Ingrid as well, we see what matters now going forward, Rick.
Not everybody gets a storybook ending. You can take my word for it because I lived it. More than 2 decades ago, I decided to hang up my helmet after 35 years, 200 wins, 7 championships. And in the final race in '92, I couldn't quite bring it home in one piece.
And Richard Petty is flaming going into turn number 1. The car is on fire. Fire extinguisher! That was Richard yelling to his crew, get a fire extinguisher down here.
So yeah, it wasn't perfect, but that's all right. I still got to wave goodbye. And little did I know that just as I was saying that farewell, there was another young man with a big smile and a funny haircut making his debut. And he was about to do incredible, unimaginable things. It's the beauty of our sport. We pass along what we've built to the next generation to see where they can take it. And Jeff Gordon was the right man at the right time to bring racing to a whole new level.
You don't understand. It's not what you think. It's not what you think. No, it's just a prank. We're just having fun. Look, this is a camera. Here's a camera. There's cameras. Look, it was all just fun. Look, I'm Jeff Gordon.
Talk shows, boardrooms, Madison Avenue. This young man was comfortable everywhere. And it's a good thing, too, because our sport, thanks in a big part to him, was about to explode. Everybody wanted to see what we'd been up to. What those good old boys could do with 4 tires, a few hundred horsepower, and thousands of screaming fans. A lot of them liked what they saw. Of course, most of the time, they saw the 24 car running up front.
This evening, on this Memorial Weekend, winner of the inaugural Brickyard 400, Jeff Gordon ties Dale Earnhardt.
He went toe-to-toe with Intimidator, and along the way, earned his respect.
This time, I would like to offer a toast to the man. Dale, great effort, man. There's some milk.
He helped build one of the sport's most dominant teams.
And caution is coming out. That could be the final lap under green.
Let's come across here, 1, 2, 3.
The top 3, all from the same racing stable.
He won races, lots of races, from Daytona to the Brickyard, to the Lady in Black and everywhere in between. He collected trophies, dominated his era, and made it all seem pretty simple. But it wasn't easy as it looked. Trust me, I wouldn't know.
Jeff Gordon in his last race climbing out of his car. A racing career that started at the age of 5. Jeff Gordon has lived his dream, and he took us along for that ride.
Turns out, Jeff Gordon didn't get that perfect ending, but he got damn close. He's left a legacy that's a lot bigger than one race. He did everything the sport could ask, and now a whole bunch of talented youngsters are ready to take over from here. They'll put their own mark on NASCAR, because that's how it's always been. But Jeff Gordon will be one tough act to follow.